Hello, welcome to another cube draft here. Treetop Village is in this? The card's great. I've just never seen it. I feel like... Sorry, I just... never seen that card in here before. I like it. I don't think I'm going to take it first pick, though. Okay, so interesting picks. We have Sword of Feast and Famine. I don't know how good the swords are in this cube. Phantasmal Image is just always great. Phyrexian Arena is actually surprisingly relevant. I don't think the aggro decks are particularly amazing. I think they are better than I've been giving them credit for, but just drawing a card every turn is very solid. But I think we're going to take Misty Rainforest. One of the best fetches, I think. I think green in general is pretty strong, and blue is also great as well. Green is one of the best ways to get ahead in this cube. There's a couple colorless ramp spells, but everyone wants those, and green is pretty uncontested. So if you can play like an early mana dork, and then play a Planeswalker on turn 3, you're so far ahead. So we're going to take that and hope to wheel Rashimi, I think. I think that card is decent. Just a bit expensive. This pack is not very good. I don't want any of these cards. Trophy Mage, I guess, is like a fake Stoneforge Mystic. Grafted Wargear is good if you're like a very aggressive deck. I think Young Pyromancer is fine. The burn isn't amazing though, so like this card is just kind of like a 2-mana 2/1 with some value. Never to Return I think is pretty good as well. Vizier of Many Faces can copy any creature and then embalms, which is okay, but we're probably just going to take a Rootbound Crag. Again, I think my default strategy is just grab Fixing when the packs are like fine. Like some of these cards are okay, right? Like I would play Lash Out, I would play Vizier, but I don't want to waste a whole pick, and grabbing mana then lets me play them when they inevitably wheel because this pack is all bad. Interesting. Okay, this pack's a lot better. We do have a Goblin Guide and a Shrine of Burning Rage. So those are two very strong considerations. I know I haven't drafted aggro in actually like ever. And Goblin Guide I think is the best card for that. There's also a Thoughtseize though, and having your opponent's just information on their hand is so powerful. You can use it just to take like a Planeswalker and then you know what's going on so you can play around it. So I do actually like Thoughtseize a lot. Also a Creeping Tar Pit is good, and I like Electrolyze. So Cascade Bluffs probably is the best with what I have, and then I can hope to wheel the Electrolyze. You know what? We're going to draft a fun deck. We're going to draft blue-red, I think. And Cascade Bluffs is good, but I think I can find better Fixing. Okay, here, so Marsh Flats is not super great with what we have right now. But Devoted Druid and Arlen Court are actually both pretty nice. Let's see. So Arlen Cord makes a creature, gives Vigilance and Haste. So it actually is pretty good in a creature-based deck if we end up like red, green, blue. Devoted Druid just gets so much ramp though. Like you can play it on turn 2, and then you can play a 5-drop on turn 3, which is also very good. So I think I'm between Arlen Cord and Devoted Druid. And I think Arlen Cord being one of the, like, it's a fine Planeswalker, but it's not amazing. I'm going to take Devoted Druid. That frees me up to take Planeswalkers in the future. Or Counterspells. Pact Negation is great. It lets you tap out for, like, very strong threats without any worry of your opponent doing something busted on the return. I think this card is just very strong. Liliana is also one of the better Planeswalkers, costing 3, but we're not anywhere near those colors just yet, and I really like Pact of Negation in this format. Any format where all the threats are like pretty expensive and you're just kind of like tapping out for haymakers, Pact of Negation's so strong. It's kind of like a Time Walk, but not quite as good. Okay, Sorin is great, but I don't think what this deck wants. We have Sulphur Falls, Yavimaya Coast, Thirst for Knowledge, and Negate. I think probably just need to take this Sulphur Falls. Thirst for Knowledge is fine, but I don't there aren't too many artifacts in this cube. Negate is actually pretty good as well, and maybe that is a consideration. I think there are a lot of powerful cards that are worth countering. So I think actually we're going to take Negate. I think the lands maybe will wheel. Now we can grab... Ooh, okay, so we have Temple of Mystery, Essence Scatter, and Anticipate. I think Essence Scatter is probably better than Anticipate. Pia is good, but I think I would probably take Fixing before taking Pia. So I think it's between Temple of Mystery and Essence Scatter. And I really like Essence Scatter. It's just a powerful play. In a cube where there are so many creatures, this card is good. The temples are very nice, and it is good fixing, but... Yeah, this is one of the better 2-mana counters I think you can get. Now, Spell Pierce is worse in this cube, but I think it's still a decent card in general. 1 mana countering a Planeswalker is pretty strong, and it helps protect your threats mostly. So if your opponent, like, let's say you have 6 mana and you tap out for like a Gideon, Spell Pierce just helps you really know that Gideon's going to resolve and be okay. So I think I'm going to take that. Vraska is good, but I don't really want to go into too many colors. And right now I might not even be in green. So keeping in mind that I could just go straight blue-red. Okay. There's a lot of black-white wheeling, which is kind of worrisome because I'm not in those colors. I don't like body double, so I think I'm just going to take Karplus and Forest. Banefire is fine as well. It is good in the counterburn type strategy. But I think I have, like, there's more X burn spells, and having good mana is just very important to me. Okay, all the cards wheeled, but none of them are good still. I don't want it. I want to just pass this pack. I guess maybe if we get like a really good 3-drop artifact, maybe Trophy Mage has some utility. Okay, here probably Flame Javelin. If we end up in straight blue-red, this could be fine. Although Doomblade is also quite good, actually. Flame Javelin's pretty bad. I think Doomblade maybe is what we want. Black seems pretty open. Oh, that's a very late Brimaz as well. So I'm not a big fan of Hypnotic Spectre. So I don't want Thriving Grubs, do I? Well, maybe we end up in blue-red tempo. I'll take it. Spiketail Draking actually is decent. It's an early threat that lets you like use your mana, but then it's just a mana leak later on. Interesting. So we got some weird cards wheeling right now. Blue seems the most open. Probably gonna grab this Cryptic Command. Card's very strong. I would like to take Sphinx's Revelation, but I think we're almost entirely blue, and Cryptic Command is just such a powerful play. I think we'll actually have the mana to cast it. If Trophy Mage could find Batterskull, that would be consideration. And I'm really hoping to grab this Temple on the wheel. Although we could even end up just like mono blue. Night Veil Spectre is also likely to wheel, and that card would be pretty good in this deck. So yeah, Cryptic Command, taking over Sphinx's Revelation. There's an argument for either, but given the blue we have, I think it's the right pick. Then we can go from there. Okay, so Scatter to the Winds. I think I have a lot of like counter spells. Polluted Delta helps fix our mana, and Monastery Mentor is going to be great in a deck of this kind, although that's not necessarily what we want. Is Master of Waves in this cube? Because he should be. Is it Master of Waves? The one that makes elementals? Because that would be sweet if he is. We could also just take Kira Great Glass Spinner, and that just protects all of our threats. I've seen Monastery Mentor go surprisingly late, and I don't even know if I'm playing Doomblade. I think I might just keep taking blue cards and then go from there. This card is actually pretty good. Ooh, okay. So Steam Vents is like excellent. We can fetch it with Misty Rainforest, so it's a dual land. But Jake's Architect of Thought is also very good too. Good in this type of deck even. So this is a tough pick. And I think given that like I only have one really playable red card, I'm just going to take the Jace. Staying in blue. If we can end up mono blue, that'd be really sweet. And I don't think Steam Vents will wheel, but maybe one of these good black cards will. Because maybe we end up in blue-black, because like Glint Sleeve Siphoner would be pretty good in this type of deck as well. Nykthos. We can end up in blue Devotion. The only question is that likely to wheel, because I would like to take the Censor. How good is Nykthos? Let's do this. We have Spiketail Draking, Kira, Jace. That's gotta be likely to wheel, right? Why would anyone else take a Nykthos? Unless they're like mono green ramp, but then you have enough ramp anyway. We can take the Censor and maybe even wheel this Cryptologist. I think that's better. Like, this might be good in the deck, but like we don't even necessarily need that much mana. We're pretty low to the ground, so I'm just gonna take the Counterspell. That definitely could be wrong, but I think I like that play. Elder Deep Fiend actually seems pretty great in this style of deck. You can sack Chasm Skulker. You know, has flash, so you can hold up counter spells, tap them out end of turn. Just works really well in the tempo game. And maybe we can wheel like a Condemn or something, but right now we're still mono blue, which is pretty great. Wow, okay. So we have Baral, which actually would be pretty nice in this deck, but this could actually be a Delver of Secrets deck. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 instants and sorceries right now. And a turn 1 Delver is just such a strong clock. There's also Aether Adept, which I like a lot. I just really like Mana War type effects. So it's between Baral, Delver, and Aether Adept. I think Baral's likely to wheel, so it's one of these two. And I think Delver, actually. If I can get enough instants and sorceries, this card will be decent in the deck. Commit to Memory, actually. I'll probably play it. 4 mana play, really good tempo. You can either counter like a very important spell to give you some time to deal with it, or counter something like a mana elf so that they have to draw it in a couple turns. So probably take that. It is a bit more expensive than I would like, but I think this cube is a bit slower than most other cubes, like the Legacy Cube or Vintage Cube, that you can afford to wait around for a 4 mana play, but I don't love it. So I would cut this card if given the choice. Here we can actually just take a Precursor Golem, I think. This card is actually pretty decent. And very good with, what is it, Kira? Counter that ability. Yeah, I think that can work. I might not play it, but it's a card in our... Wow. What? Okay. Blue is open. Sphinx's Revelation wheeled. That's probably better than these other cards. Right? Like, I play blue-white. Like, the other option is a Nightveil Spectre. But this card's insane, especially with counter spells. Silent Departure actually might be decent. Just a pretty good tempo play. I don't know if that's better than Frostlinks. This is like the worst Frost Titan of all time. But this card could be okay. Especially now that we have ways to recoup the card advantage. I don't think I want any of those. Maybe we'll end up playing Duress. Spirit of the Labyrinth is pretty poor with Sphinx's Rev and such. Wow, Nykthos wheeled. Although Revelark, hang on. Oh, that gets back like all of my creatures. But Nykthos, we have a lot of blue mana, and that's going to be sweet with Sphinx's Rev. Chandra's Phoenix, maybe. What? Dude! I think we want a Brawl. That helps us get through our deck so fast. That could have been wrong. I just didn't have enough time to think. But blue seems completely open here. So we can grab a Tameo. And I think Tameo is great. The other option is Glacial Fortress for Sphinx's Rev. But I think I'd rather have a blue-white duel that we can fetch up than that. And I'm sure I'm going to wheel like all of these cards. But Tameo is a pretty good card, so I'm going to take her. Ooh, Riftwing Cloudskate is great. So is Spell Queller, though. Especially in this blue-white tempo style deck. That card can be excellent. And I think Riftwing Cloudskate's more likely to wheel. Is it? Like, nobody took any blue cards in the last pack. I don't know what's better. Spellcaller is also great with Kira. I'm probably not playing that. This is tough. I have no idea which one I want. I think it's Riftwing. This card costs one less, and Spellcaller will probably wheel, and if it doesn't, we can take the Clever Impersonator. Okay, here, I think we just want a Serum Visions. And I probably would play this Crystal Shard if given the opportunity, or Banisher Priest or Cast Out, but Serum Visions is great. Increases my spell count for Delver of Secrets and all that. Here, Mistraven actually is decent. You know, bounces their creature to 2/2 on its own. Yeah, I'll play it. See, I'm like probably the only deck that would even want a Frostwalker, and I still don't think I want it. I just don't think this card is very good. Instead, maybe I take a Grim Lavamancer. That card would be good in my deck if I can get enough red sources, and I'm not playing anything else. Oh yes, Snappy Caster. That card's amazing in this deck. Yeah, we may have successfully drafted mono blue. I so far really like this deck. I think Baral actually can be good. Does this counter? That does not counter. So we have Cryptic Command. Does Baral spell or ability? Okay, so Baral triggers off of Pact Negation, Spell Pierce, Censor, Essence Scatter, Negate, Spiketail, Drakeling, Cryptic Command so far. So I think Baral actually is worthwhile. And he's a good blocker and makes my spells cost less. Maybe I do want a Chasm Skulker. This card can just get huge. And the upside of playing in league drafts is right now none of my opponents would really have islands in this pod. But with Chasm Skulker, or with league drafts, it's likely I can play against other opponents who have drafted blue. And then these Island Walk tokens can go crazy. Okay. Do we want a Tidings? I don't think I'm playing any of these other cards. That's like kind of extreme, but I think I could even side it in against a really slow matchup. Luterial Core is actually pretty great. So is Selfless Spirit, Wake Thrasher, Windbreast Kites too, but I only have 9 creatures. I'm trying to think, Wake Thrasher does hit pretty hard. But Luterial Core fixes my draws. And I like having like evasive, recursive threats. Yeah, I'm gonna take Looter. So I could Hall of Triumph on blue, or I could just grab an Oust if I'm playing white. Because this only helps 10 creatures. Yeah, I think Oust has a higher upside. Probably not playing it, but you never know. Okay, I think that was the... Oh! I really hope the land was not in that pack. I think that was the pack with the land I wanted. Because now I'm going to have to play Sphinx's Rev off basic planes, which is really bad. Although I have a lot of card draw and filtering, so that's not horrible. Yeah, that's not the end of the world. Okay, Spellqueller Wield. Yeah, kind of wish that I had blue fixing or white fixing. Probably just taking Temple of Silence. I'm not playing any of these. Guess I don't want to play against this. I don't really know. None of these really matter. I guess Frostwalker maybe if I like really want to go aggro. Someone can live the Phyrexian Obliterator dream. Okay, we are almost mono blue. So putting these aside, we have 24 playables, and I like almost all of them. I think Chasm Skulker actually is pretty good. But maybe it's the card that I cut here. Riftwing is a 2. This is a 4. I need to see if Chasm Skulker triggers off of each card draw, or if it's just one trigger for any draw. So like if I Sphinx's Rev... Oh, jeez. Yeah, so it is for each draw. So if I Sphinx's Revelation with Chasm Skulker, it gets huge. So I think given that I have Luteral Core and Brawl, Serum Visions, Cryptic draws a card, Tidings draws 4, I think Chasm Skulker might be good enough. Maybe I just play 16 lands? But I have so much like looting that it's like pretty hard for me to flood out. With cards like Tidings and Sphinx's Revelation, it's so hard to flood. So we're definitely playing Nykthos. Is there a reason to play Misty Rainforest? I think given that I can get value off of Delver, that's the only possibility. I think I'll start with it in, but against any aggressive deck I'll side out the Misty Rainforest. So do I want to play Temple of Silence as my white source to get an additional scry? I think so. I'm going to play a couple white sources, so I might as well play one off-white. Right now I have 1, 2, 3 white sources. And how many blue? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That kind of guarantees that I can Cryptic Command. Do I cut Spellqueller? It's a good card, but I just don't know if I can reliably cast it on turn 3. And it's not amazing in the late game. But I guess with how much looting I have, I can just discard it, so it's not horrible. Yeah, so I think this is what I'm going to run with. See you guys round 1.